Hello guys, how are you? How's your day? Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Good evening and all. How's your day going? Yeah, we can have a casual conversation. More than a session, we can have a conversation to get some knowledge. Can everyone comment your year of study, like first year or second year or third year? You know,
I'm from first year.
okay,
I'm from first year.
okay. So many are from first year. Okay, I found a second year student. Okay, cool. So anyone heard of this blockchain Web3 before coming to this session? Have you ever heard of that or anyone have worked on it? Have any idea about Web3? Okay, fine then. Let's start with the session. Oh, fine. Okay, let's start with our session. So, myself, Alan. Actually, I am a third year student at SRM Institute of Science and Technology. I had some experience in developing blockchain applications. My main core was blockchain as well as backend development. I was an SWE at Moving Sync at Bangalore, and I think that's it about me. I don't want to take the session to talk about. And so we are going to see about introduction in Web3. Or like it will be a beginner session. Like we will be learning what is Web3, what is blockchain, what are the tools we are using, what are the scopes there. So we'll be seeing around and around what is blockchain and what is Web3. So is Web3 and blockchain same? No. Like Web3 is a revolution and blockchain is one of the revolution in that. So to understand this, let's start from Web 1, Web 2. So you guys, I think you may know about Web 1 and Web 2. Can anyone say what is Web 1 and Web 2? Okay. Okay, fine. Let me tell it. Web 1 is like it's the first era where internet was introduced to us. We only can see static sites like blogs. We can only see them. We cannot. It will not be dynamic. We cannot interact with it or anything. You can just scroll it, just see whatever it was. So it's just read only websites. Those are called Web 1. So then uh, we were in the Web 2, like around 2 to 3 years back, we were on the Web 2. Like still now, we are more involved in Web 2 than Web 3. So what is Web 2? Now, like all the websites in nowadays are made of this Web 2. We'll be having interactive, we'll have backends, we can interact with the website, like we can do changes. It will be dynamic. It will reflect what you are doing on the website, like messaging. If you're using social media platform, right, it was not static. You are uploading it, you are liking it, you are sharing the reels and everything. So it was something dynamic, both read as well as write. You have the right to write in the website. So it is called read and write. So we are on Web 2. So what is this Web 3? We already have this much of stuff. So why we need Web 3 and what is Web 3? So when you come to Web 3, you'll be having an additional feature called owning. So what we'll be owning? In this Web 2, right, we'll be having the platform will be storing your data. like just take our Instagram account. Like you will be logging in it or register into it. Your data are stored on their own servers. They will have access to your data, but you will not. You don't have access to your data. Right? You will just can see them and do whatever you want. But the access is also have the admin also have those access. More than you, they will have more access on it. So that's where we are at Web 2. But in Web 3, only you can modify your data, you can access your data, you'll be having you'll actually own your data. No one will own your data. The platform is just for providing you these facilities to own your data. So Web 3 is something you can own your data. We can like normally we people know only uh, trading and those stuff. Like we'll be using for we heard of Web 3 in trading like Bitcoins, right? I think many of you know about Bitcoin, right? Do you ever know about Bitcoin? That's where blockchain starts. Guys, you can openly talk to me. Just I'm also a third year student, right? We are just senior and junior. Like we can talk.
Yes.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we know we just came to know about Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. So inside Web 3, we'll be having blockchain, metaverse, and so on, so on. So now we'll focus on blockchain. So before saying blockchain, like already we discussed, right? Web 2 and Web 3. What are the differences? Control. Here comes the term decentralized. Uh, Decentralized in the sense in blockchain. In normal Web 2, where are your data are stored? Can anyone tell me where the data are being stored?
Server.
Yeah,
Server, sir.
in a server. Yeah, in a server in the sense it is a physical server. We are using in cloud, but it will be a physical server in somewhere, and we are storing over there. What if that server has some explosion or any incident over there, and we losing your data, right? It will be we are storing in a centralized area. We'll be only storing on that server, which may have a more possibility of losing our data and misusing our data and so on. So in Web3, what we're having is decentralization. So decentralization is actually opposite to the centralization. Instead of storing those data in a single server, like take a network. We are having, let's think that we are having a network and about 10 people are connected over there. Instead of storing all the data in a single server, what I will do is, if I'm sending a money, like if I'm having 10 rupees of money, not only the database will have the data that Alan is having 10 rupees, but all the nodes in the network will have the data. So what is the thing is it will not be stored in a centralized area. It will be decently. It will be anywhere. Like it can be stored in all the nodes of the network. So if someone come to modify, like if I'm myself trying to modify that, I'm having 20 rupees by hacking the server and trying to modify that instead of 10 rupees, I'm modifying it at 20 rupees. But then what the decentralized network will do is it will just refer to the other peer-to-peer nodes and check that there will be 10 rupees. So it automatically reflects the 10 rupees. Like it will automatically change it to 10 rupees. So when it comes to blockchain, it was immutable. You cannot change those data once the transaction is done in blockchain. So let's see what is the transactions and so on later. So why Web3 matters? So as I said, decentralization is one of the main feature of Web3. Actually, that's the reason why most of the governments were against decentralization. Can anyone tell me what actually blockchain tried to replace in the society? Okay.
It can like represent power in a single area.
Yeah.
So it would like a power would not be in single hand. It would be distributed in multiple
Yeah.
hands.
Absolutely. It will be distributed. Like to take an example, we go to normal banks, right? We'll be depositing our money. Everything will be on their locker. If their lockers are looted, then uh, they won't give 100 percentage responsibility. They don't take 100% responsibility for this. Like they will be giving only half of their money. Like they'll be splitting out their assets, and this is a whole big process which needs lots and lots of year. That won't be actually 100% possible. So what decentralization do is, instead of having whole access to a centralized person, like there will be no admin in decentralized network. Everyone is admin of their own data. So they can control their data, they own their data, and they can only edit their data. Whatever happens over those other networks, it will not affect your network. So decentralization actually tried to uh, change that money transaction, like physical currency, to digital currency. So this was the step. Actually, Web3 was introduced, and it got distracted somewhere, and somewhere it get into tradings and so on. But yeah, it was booming now. Booming in the sense, it was booming like anything. It was booming. And transparency. Uh, you can't believe me, that I can see whatever the transaction getting into the blockchain, like whoever it is, even Elon, I can see Elon Musk transactions, what are the transactions if he's doing, if I know his wallet address and the transaction details. So all the transactions done in blockchain was transparent to anyone. It will be hashed, but it will be transparent. What are the transactions takes place and which block it was and everything. We'll see how blocks are created and so on our practical session. And global participation. It will never be limited within an area. It was globally accessible. Anyone from uh, any area can access your account and everything. You can access your account from anywhere. You can transfer money to any person from any corner of the world. So that's where global participation is there, and there is no border for it. And when it comes to innovation, blockchain is one of the most innovative part, that actually every industry is trying to revolutionize into blockchain to use its innovativeness. We can we can tell n number of innovativeness in blockchain. If you take about hackathons, I guess you guys are in first year. I try to attend hackathons uh, in upcoming hackathons. Like you are attending this hackathon next also. Like you should attend multiple hackathons to get like idea about what is currently over there and what other people are doing, how we need to uh, improve ourselves and so on. So blockchain, if you are taking about 10 hackathons, it will almost 5 to 6 hackathons will be from blockchain. They will be having blockchain as a theme. Definitely, they will have a blockchain as a theme, because blockchain contains most innovative solutions over there. And so, what is blockchain? So, it's a if you want to say in a simple word, it's a tamper-proof digital diary. As I said, it was immutable. You cannot change data once it was get into the blockchain. So it is a digital diary which is tamper-proof. Whatever the data get into, yeah, sure, decentralization. Yeah, decentralization in the sense, instead of storing data in a single server, the centralized means we are storing everything in a single particular area. If that area has any issues, we won't able to retrieve those data. But decentralization means, instead of storing everything in a single server, we'll be storing those data in all the nodes which are connected in the network. Actually, blockchain is a connection of nodes, right? We'll be creating blocks, and that's why it's called blockchain. We'll be creating blocks on every transaction. Transaction in the sense, whatever you do in the blockchain, it is called transaction. If you are sending money to someone, it is called transaction. Everything will be created as a new block and attached to the blockchain, and that block detail will be linked to all other blocks. So if you are trying to mutate that data, it will automatically get the data from other nodes, and it will reflect, and like, it won't change. Actually, it's called immutability. You cannot change it. So decentralization gives the immutability character to the blockchain. So decentralization is there. And if you want explanation from another angle, is that a person said, right, instead of giving a whole power to a single person, all the people in the network has the power. No admin. There will be no concept of admin in decentralization. Yeah. Did you get that, Aditya Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as I said, to structure, we'll be having chain of blocks. Every transaction will be created as a block, and that block will be chained to the previous blocks. Okay, we'll be seeing visual contents, and we'll be seeing practically, so you will understand very well. Just remember, it's a chain of blocks. Blockchain is a chain of blocks. Those blocks contains transaction details. Okay. and block connection. Each block is connected to previous one. Yeah, security. Yeah. So one of actually, if you take blockchain as a topic, it will come under more than a web. It will comes under cyber security. So because its main focus is to uh, secure our every secure our data, right? Its main use is to secure our data. So what does it use? It use n number of hashing algorithms to hash every data. Like whatever the data you give in the blockchain, it will be hashed using you will mainly be using CACAC 256. It's an algorithm. Like you'll be using multiple amount of hashing algorithms to hash your data when you are uploading into the blockchain. In every data in the blockchain will be hashed. So we'll be seeing it in practical session. And a block, yeah, I think you'll see on that. Okay, yeah, so this is how the transaction works. First the transaction starts. If I'm sending money to transaction is not only those money transferring, even data transferring is also called transaction in blockchain. Okay, when you're trying to transact some data, it will just initiate transaction and it will go to the network. And to do a transaction in blockchain, you need to have a separate wallet address. So to create the wallet address, we'll be using uh, MetaMask. MetaMask is one of the we have multiple wallets like Coin DCX. Like we have multiple wallets, but I use MetaMask. It will be like it has some stunning UI. So we can use MetaMask. Like here I have, right. This will be my contract, my wallet address. So we will never use email ID, username, or password to log in into any of our blockchain platform. We just need to have our own wallet address. We can log in using our wallet address. So creating a block, the blockchain will verify whether you are a valid wallet address and the transaction is actually done. Then it will go into the block creation. So when block is created, it contains details like transaction details, the previous block details to make the chain, right? The previous block details, and then who did that, timestamps, and so on, so on. It will have like n number of details. Okay. In chain addition, it will add to the least chain. And the blockchain is update across all nodes. So the data you're updating, right, in the blockchain, it will be updated in all the nodes. As I said, it will update in all the nodes which are being connected in the network. So that's why it's called decentralized. And mechanisms, yeah, we have proof of work like Bitcoin. If you solve puzzle, you will get reward. So actually, all this blockchain are reward based. We will be getting user will get rewards. That's what blockchains are used. So when we solve the puzzle, we will get rewards. And here, proof of stake. We need to stake some coins to validate ourselves inside our Ethereum. Like Ethereum works on proof of stake. And don't stress upon this topic. This will be too hard. These are the actual mechanism we'll be working on. But to begin, just know this concept. When you're talking about blockchain with someone, you need to talk about these stuff. Then only they can see, oh, okay, he knows something about blockchain. But these are the core concepts. But if we need to explain about this, we will get one whole day. But if we have opportunities, let's see afterwards. Then types of blockchain we have public, private, and consortium. Public blockchains are open like Bitcoin, Ethereum that can be accessed from anywhere by anyone from wherever whoever the people just they need to create a wallet address to access these networks. That's it. That those are public. And private in the sense they can have their own. If I'm running a company, I need a network for my company itself. Means I will be going for Hyperledger. And like Hyperledger is a company like that. I'll be creating a blockchain network inside my company. So that's called private. And consortium in the sense shared group of people like IBM footrest in the sense there will be multiple people instead of a single company. We'll be having partnership with. We can give access to those companies to access our data instead of making everyone public or making everyone private. We can have access over who are the institutions can have access in our network. We can give access if we actually do. Otherwise, they can access our data. Blockchain traditional database. Yeah, most of us use blockchain instead of databases. Actually, it stores data and everything. Control, as I said, blockchain is decentralized and normal traditional database is centralized. And immutability, yeah, blockchain is immutable. We can't change the data, but traditional database can be hackable. Anyone can change the data if they actually know some hacking knowledge. That's it. And trust, no trustless. As why I'm saying no trustless in the sense, when you are interacting with the platform, you can see those platforms' actual code, contract code itself. You can visit their code, what they're actually trying to do, what their code is. How can I trust their platform? You can just simply trust their platform. Once they have introduced their code, they cannot change it. They cannot even change it too. So you can simply trust the platform. But if it comes to traditional database, admin can have the access even to change their codes, and whatever they want, they can change their whole backend, they can change whole their database, whatever they need to do, they can do. So that's the difference between traditional database and blockchain. And blockchain is maybe a little bit slower as it connects to lot and lot of nodes. So maybe little bit slower, not that much slower, it will be little bit slower. But traditional database are always faster. We know that we are using in a day-to-day life, right? They're faster. And yeah, as I said, blockchain are public and traditional database are private. Only those admins. And if you are a user, you can see some restricted amount of data. But if you are admin, you can see all the data. But no other organizations can visit into the any other database. When it comes to more secure, blockchain will be the more secure database. So just think a traditional database like you can think MongoDB SQL. There are n number of techniques to hack the databases. There are n number of queries to get data, unauthorized data. But in blockchain, you can't do that. It is 100% secure. Your data are hashed into it, and only the people who has access, like you can access your own data. You have access to your data, so it is 100% safer than traditional database. That's for the reason everything is now revolutioning into blockchain. If you open a news, you can definitely see a news about blockchain in every day. Even today, if you open a news, you can see some news about blockchain, whether someone launched a new network or some upgrades about the network and anything. You can see even a small detail about blockchain. So that's a, that's how it is revolutionary. And career opportunities. Uh, when I started blockchain, I attended a workshop first. He said that the starting salary of a blockchain developer is 45 LPA. So that's what inspired me actually. I think that can inspire you too. But actually, let's see the real fact. A Web3 developer in India had an average salary of 38 LPA. It's an average salary of 38 LPA. You can see base salary is 18 LPA. So that's how your Web3 and blockchain skills are being valued. You can have n number of scopes for blockchain. You can get easily into the MNCs if you know blockchain. Even if I need to share my own experience, I have attended multiple interviews. They will see you in a different manner if you still you know blockchain.
Hi, bro. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, yes,
Bro, what's your role, bro? What's
yeah,
your working on?
yeah. I'm a backend developer, Java backend developer right now, and I do freelance projects on blockchain.
Okay, okay. You are working on companies or
Yeah,
a college graduate.
yeah. I'm not at a college graduate. Actually, I'm a third year, and I was working as an intern, like SWD with a PPO.
Okay, okay, bro.
Yeah.
What's your dream company? Like that, I'm asking.
What?
What's your planning to go, bro?
Yeah,
After the college.
yeah. Okay. I was planning to go with placement alone. Like, uh, I was trying my best to get into blockchain. Like, there are n number of blockchain companies. Like, even I got an offer for about 20 LPA for blockchain developer, but that was a startup. We can't trust startup, right? To get into big tech companies in a blockchain, you need to put some more effort. You need to actually to get into big companies as a blockchain developer. They won't hire freshers for blockchain developer. You need to have at least
Yeah.
2 to 3 year experience to get into blockchain big tech companies. But you can get job offers in startups, but you can't trust startups, right? They
Okay,
can
okay,
do
okay.
whatever they want. So That's why I rejected that offer, even though it was 20 LP. But my target is to work for just 2 to 3 years on normal platforms and try my
Okay.
level best to get into big company.
Okay. Why you not interested in SWE, bro? Software engineering role in big tech companies
No,
like
I
Google,
don't say that I
Amazon.
don't have I don't uh, have interest in it and all. I love whatever the text I learn. I just need to explore everything. That's it. I don't say that I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't. I need to explore everything.
Okay.
Even if I got new technologies upcoming years, I will be learning that too. I was also planning to learn about some quantum. I heard that that will be the future tech. I just need to learn everything to explore everything. That's it. That's how
Okay.
you should also be. Like when you get into any companies, you won't get what you want actually. You will be exploring every text. That's what I do. So I
Okay.
don't focus on
Just
this.
asking why not you don't go with Google, Amazon like that after switch to Web3 or focus on Web3 only like that I'm asking.
Yeah, we can go, but Web3 has a bright future, I guess.
Okay.
It has demand. It has a big demand, but there is a lack of developers in Web3.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what.
Okay. After fourth year, what's your aim, bro? Like going with the Web3 or going with the SWE, something
Whatever
like.
it works for me, I'll be going with that. Like, yeah, we
Okay.
can go with the flow rate.
Okay, bro. What's my question is if I'm learn Web3, what I'm looking for after the college? That's why I'm asking like the question.
Yeah. I'm just going with the flow, just exploring every text. That's it.
Okay, you are not learning DSAs like
Yeah, I
that.
learned. Yeah, you need to learn DSS too. Like, may I
Okay,
know which year you are at?
I'm currently moving on third year, bro. I'm
Moving to third year.
2027
Right.
right out.
You'll be getting started with placements at third year end.
No, no, bro. Third year end only. I'm graduating 2027.
Yeah, no issues. We'll be getting companies like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs in your third year end itself.
Okay, you are saying go with Web3. It's
Yeah,
a
I
great
won't say
idea.
just go with Web3. It has scope, but as a
Okay.
fresher, learning this, like, do you think companies will need you to learn whole SWT, like software development, backend, everything to get hired? You know, I hired into a company for Java backend developer role,
Okay.
but I never know Java.
Okay. Okay.
They
You are
know
go
they need to know that you have
interest.
the ability to learn skills. That's it.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
Yeah, if you studied front end development, right, just React or whatever it is, and if you are
Okay.
telling the recruiter that I know React, there is no 100% surety that they will put you in a React development project. They
Okay.
may put you whatever they will put you in whatever the vacancy there. Like if they have vacancy for backend, they will put you there. So as a fresher, what you need to have is you need to have open minded. Like you need to be open minded. Like whatever the opportunity they give, I need to utilize it. That's it. That's what the mentality you should be. And
Okay.
when it comes to placement, you are focusing on placement, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When you are focusing on placement, like you are into third year. Have you started with DSA?
Yeah, bro. I'm started, but not go with full fledged, bro.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Same. No one can go with a full fledged. But have you done any development? Like, have you done any development part in the development part, like front and back end or anything?
Yeah, bro. I'm learning React.
Yeah. Okay. Build a project on React to showcase your
Okay.
skill. That's it. Have some
Okay, bro.
till linear data structures. Learn till linear data structures. That would be more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah, till linear data structure for till 12 LP, you compulsorily need to know till linear data structure. After that, you can learn trees, graphs, non-linear data structure.
Okay.
What
Okay. Okay.
you actually need to know linear data structures. They may ask whatever it was, but learning
Linear.
linear data structure will open many doors to you. But to get more packages, you need to learning on other non-linear too. Companies will just
DSS.
focus on DSA more. They'll just ask you what
Okay.
you have done in their last HR or technical round.
Okay.
Just what you have done. So you so and so. Okay, fine. First round it will be DSA or aptitude. So they'll go with that flow. Even in technical round they will ask DSA, and they'll just
Okay.
need to know whether you have done something like projects or anything. So you have the learning capability. That's
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you,
some
thank you.
courses are in trusted platform, studyable blockchain. Yeah, I studied a Udemy course to study in blockchain, but you can't learn everything on blockchain in any courses. Actually, blockchain is an fastly updating, what do I say, fastly updating technology. Like next month you'll be having new text. Next month you'll be having additional text. So you can't learn everything on a course. Just know something about just start to code with blockchain, how to integrate blockchain with normal websites, and just start with attending hackathons. In attending hackathons, you'll get to know some errors, how to solve. They'll be having mentors, so you can get help from mentors. So you'll be getting more and more knowledge. Like when I attend my first hackathon, I just know how to build a contract. That's it. Then I used AI to build. Even though I know build to how to build contract, I used AI to build contract over there, and I just was studying there also, like how this contract is working. Because I learned this simple contract, but there I need to build some big contract to have a great project. So when you are attending a hackathon or any coding rounds, you will be getting know better in blockchain. That's how you will be learning blockchain. There will be n number of events happening by n number of companies. Like major events are uh, you'll be having Eat India, which is one of the great hackathon in India, unfolded at Bangalore, and Coinbase also do some hackathon. Like every blockchain platform will have a great hackathon. There you will be getting to know about what are the new technologies. So to study, like let me share to the admin to share you about the Udemy course that I have studied. Let me share you at the end of the session. Sure. Okay. So when it comes to career opportunity, there is blockchain developer who knows whole about blockchain, smart contract engineer. You just know about smart contract. You just know how to develop a smart contract in a most effective manner. So you'll be smart contract engineer. Web3, the sense you know how to integrate with websites also. Like you know how to integrate with normal websites. You know how to make a full DApp application, decentralized applications. So you'll be getting to Web3 developer. Like that's already developer. Product manager, like product manager related to blockchain and ecosystem marketing. There are a number of opportunities in blockchain. You just need to start it. That's it. If you are, for you, I guess most of you guys are what? Okay. Roadmap for learning. Yeah, sure. I'll share the roadmap which I came across. Okay. So how it works blockchain? Mm, blockchain is simply a network. Every node will be connected to a network, and every transaction will be added as blocks, which is immutable. Only transactions can be done, it cannot be reverted and cannot be undone. So it's how there are two parts in blockchain. One is core blockchain and decentralized application building. So what we are studying is decentralized application building. We are not building new networks like Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything else. We are just building application on top of the blockchain. Like at the top of the Ethereum, we are utilizing Ethereum. We are building our own projects. So we are utilizing that network. That's what we are studying. So there is another side which is like more darker. Like it was too tough. I guess I can't even find a tutorial video to start that with. So I just, wherever I go, they feel like, oh, you're learning that. Here there is more scope. I don't know the there's opportunity for them. So I just came to the DApp section. DApp section is the building smart contracts. You'll be deploying the smart contracts and you'll be connecting that smart contract to uh, front-end applications like React or anything. Instead of server, we'll be using blockchain. We will not have any server. All the data will be stored on blockchain and everything. So that's how it works. It will be like a normal web application with the high security and some with some gas fee. So let's see how it works on the flow. Okay, ecosystem Ethereum tools. Will be coding on Solidity. Solidity is a language like it will be mix of Python and JavaScript. Yeah, it will be mix of Python and JavaScript, and we'll be using MetaMask for our transaction and everything. For development, for now, we'll be using Remix IDE, but Hardhat and Truffle will be needed if you're trying to get a job. Like I learned Truffle, but I never used Truffle. Like most of the hackathons, you'll be using Remix because Truffle will run another separate node in your laptop itself. So I just started with Remix ID. So let's start with Remix ID today. And Web3 or Ether, it will be a library to connect blockchain with the front end. Yeah, yes, transactional groups into blocks. Yeah. Fine. And decentralized storage. And blockchain can store files, right? So we'll be using IPFS, which is interplanetary file system, where we'll be uploading files. It will also, in blockchain, everything is converted into hash. So files, whatever it is, it will be converted into hash, and you'll be getting the hash, you'll be storing on the blockchain. Okay. Then block explorers, he'll be seeing the blocks or the blocks we are generating, right? For every transaction, we can see at the block explorer. We will see at our practical. Okay. Okay, let's start with our demo. How many of you are eager to develop a first smart contract? Put in comment section.
Me, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Cool. Okay. Okay, then let's start with that. So everyone are having your laptop, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Just uh, go to your browser and search for Remix ID. Remix ID. That's where we will be coding our contracts and everything. And we'll be having our first website, Remix ID. We'll be having two, Remix ID and community and Remix ID. We'll be using this Remix Ethereum ID. Okay. Yeah, this is how it works. There are lots and lots of stuff will be there. Has everyone landed into this page? If yes, just put a thumbs up so that we can go on. Okay. Okay. So if anyone are lagging, just text in the chat itself. We can go a little bit slow. Sure. Aditya Kumar, just tell me when you're ready. For now, let me create just a simple contract. Just understand how contract works, how block works. After that, let's develop a contract for a simple mini bank. How we can deposit, trans transact, and withdraw our money and everything. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll be having a section called contract, and you'll be already having storage.sol, owner.sol, ballot.sol. Let's create a new file. Uh, Start the first letter with capital. So that's how it works. And first contract dot sol. We need to write the .sol. Okay, or to mention that it is a solidity file. Okay, we get into here. Yeah. So everyone get into this page. Here we'll be coding now. Okay, we are getting giveaway announcement. So
Yeah, bro. You are actually in.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Before starting to code, we need some like in C++. We'll be having hashtag include stdio that stuff and like so like that. Here we'll be mentioning which version we are going to use and what license we are going to use. So it's actually default for all the codes you'll be writing. You just need to memorize it. Like you need to two slashes. This is PDF. GPA. MIT. So this is how we mention our license identifier. Like it was default. Like it was showing itself. Like it's a hello world contract. Okay. Have you done this? Is my screen like it was visible?
Yeah, bro, visible.
Yeah. I think now it will be clear.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So as we said, we are going to build a simple contract. Like let's name it as our contract. To make it as a contract, we need to write contract. What can we name it? The same first contract. We can name it as first contract. Yeah. So we are here. First, we need, like for now, what we are going to do is we are going to declare a number, and we are going to setter and getter for that number. Then we are going to write a function for increment and decrement for that number. That's it. What we are going to do now. Okay. To understand the simple concept how it works. Like integer data type, you'll be having uint. In uint itself, you'll be having this much like uint 104, 112. Those are the bits. How much bits it can store. Normally, you'll be using uint 256. This will be the maximum amount of storage. So we'll be using this normally. After specifying the data type, you'll be making it as public. Like it will be using, as I said, it'll be using JavaScript, Python, as well as C++. Like it was a combination of those languages. So we'll make it public and name it as number. Yeah, it's just a number. Then it's showing. Let's create function. So to declare anything, to declare a function in Solidity, we need to specify it as function and the function name. We can set it as set number. So set number, we need to get number, right? So that
Class
also
லிஸ்ட் வரானே
we need to specify the data type also. To int 256, and we can name it as, actually we will name, actually these are the formats we'll use when we are using a function and we are going to change the number. We'll be naming it as slash number to identify it, like the practices, good practices. We'll be having practices in many languages, right? So here we'll be using this, and we need to make this public key. Yeah. So we'll be number is equal to dash number. So we have written our setter function which gets a u into 56 number and setting the number, storing that number in our global variable. Then let's write our function get number. That doesn't need anything. We are also going to make it public. Yeah, and yeah, it's showing view returns, right? So what that view returns? View in the sense we are not going to change anything, right? Here if I write view, it will give me error. See, we are getting the error. So that means that view in the sense we are just viewing. We are not going to change anything in that any variable in that. Here we are not going to change anything, right? We are just going to get some value. So there is no change. So we will be specify it as view, and it is going to return something. So what it is going to return? Returns a data type of u in 256. So this is what it's going to return. I'll write return number. So we have written our getter and setter. So Let's go with our increment function. Increment. We need to make it public. What we'll do number is equal to 1. So like the same, we'll do the increment too. So yeah, we have done this. A simple program to get. We have done a setter, getter, and increment decrement operation to understand how the blocks works first. We don't done any transaction set, no ethers involved, anything. We just made a simple program. So how many of you done with this program?
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, okay, sure. Take care of that. Just under like it's pretty basic. Like we are having public to make this function publicly available to access. And view in the sense we are just going to view. We are not going to change anything at that function. So we are just making it view, and it's going to return a number. So we are making it returns for data type u in 256. U in 256 is a data type. That's it. A pretty basic program. I think you can easily understand it just by seeing. Please put a message and comment when you guys are done with coding. Let me put the code to the chat box. Okay, Michelle has raised hand. Michelle, any doubt?
Uh,
Yeah.
I think you should just continue, and in the last I will ask some questions regarding
Yeah,
this.
okay, sure. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
we complete this fast before 7, we can go with another coding, which is like the mini bank. That would be like little bit fun, and we'll be creating our first ever wallet for blockchain. I'll guide you guys and how to get test ethers in it even. You can flex to your friends. I got some ethers, but that will be test tokens.
Hello,
Yeah,
bro. What does that gas mean? Infinite gas
gas fee,
and
right? Yeah. To do a transaction in blockchain, you need to pay some minimal amount of gas for mining, right? Whatever you do a transaction, it need to get mined in the blockchain network, and it will be added as a block. So for that mining, you need to pay some little amount of gas fee. So that's what it's going like. That can be maximum estimation of gas. So when you are coding, you need to take care that the gas fee is less. That's it. You need to take like optimization. You can say. When you're deploying and doing actual transaction, you can see the gas fee details. Let me show you. If you guys coded, I can start with that. Done. So everyone done with the coding? Is anyone pending?
bro, could you please elaborate on that mining and this gas thing?
What?
Could you please elaborate on this mining that you mentioned?
Yeah, now right. That's not that mining you thought like you'll be mining cryptocurrency. That is not about it. Like when you create a transaction, just take that if I'm calling this function, set number that function, that will be considered as a transaction, and the transaction need to be created as a block, right? Then only it can be attached on the chain. So that block creation is called, we'll be calling as mining, block mining. So it will that block is being mined. For that we need to pay some gas fee from our side to do that. Then only the block will be created and that block will be added on the blockchain. So we'll see how it works when we deploy it. Once you guys complete, can I start with the deployment?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, sure. Okay, just click Control S so that it will be saved, and you can go to the Solidity compiler over there on the left side. Yeah, so you can have you can see this compile first contract.sql. So when you click compile, and it will give a green tick. If you see any red or anything, you have error no code. You need to worry. If someone have any error, just ping me up. And once you compile it, just go to the next one, deploy and run transactions. When you go there, yeah, you'll be automatically in Remix VM, and then you'll be when you click here, you'll be seeing some like 10 or 20 accounts, 16 accounts, I guess. Every account will have 100 test ethers. They are test ethers, not actually ethers. They are test ethers. So you can use those ethers for our testing purpose. That's it. We'll be given sample accounts and with 100 ethers. So we are going to use these accounts to see how these are working. And we at last we'll be using our actual account too. So first let's try it. So I'm selecting first account, and when I click deploy, we'll be having a button called deploy. Click it, and you'll be done with the transaction. See, you'll be given a okay, status transaction mined and execution succeed. You can see the transaction mined, right? I just deployed my contact, but when you go back, you won't have that 100 ethers. 9.99.999 some ethers were gone, right? Those were the ethers actually we paid for gas fee. Here you can see that 21,000, like 2,12,471 gas. So this is what we have paid for our gas fee to deploy the contract. It was been mined and execution. It was been added on the block. Okay. So we'll be having hashes. We only having hashes. We don't have any, not even a single word. We'll just have hashes. And I think everyone have done till now. And when you scroll down, you'll be having deployed contracts. There will be, you can see our first contract. So here we'll be having orange color buttons and blue color buttons. Blue color buttons are for getting data, and orange colors are the functions which we actually written. Decrement. So we have written a decrement function. Increment, we have actually written a increment function. Set number, we'll also have written a set number function. Get number is just view, right? So now you can see those view functions are in blue colors, which are actually have no job in a modifying any data, just used for viewing data. So that's why we name it as view. So let's set the number first. Okay, before setting number, let's see what actually that number contains. Yeah, 0. Like our language, we are having 0 as the initial number. We can set the number for 20. Set number. For you can see for whatever the transaction I do, we are mining. Actually, we are mining. Transaction mined and execution success. We'll have some gas fee for every transaction we do. When it is a transaction, whatever the function you call in blockchain has transaction fee, but not for get. Let me click the get number. See, you won't have any gas fees. See, there is no gas fee. I think you can understand this gas fee concept now. Are you clear, bro? Someone asked.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. When I click the number, I can see the current number, and I can let me increment it first. And now back I check 21. So our function actually works. 22 increment 21. So yeah, this works. So this is how simple contracts work. And to view that block, I told you to, so that I will show in my block. Right. So let me redeploy it with my, like, don't try it. Like, we'll try it afterwards. Just let me try it now with my MetaMask. I have actually logged into my MetaMask. So let me log in with my MetaMask first to the page. I'm connecting my MetaMask over here. So I'll be getting my account. See, my account, and I can see 0.2 test ethers I have, and I'm deploying now. For now, for the deployment, it will ask for the verification, and I need to verify using my wallet, MetaMask wallet. See, it'll ask for my verification to sign, like with my contract address, like with my address, it will be transfer. The transaction will be done. When I confirm, creation of first transaction, first contract pending. So it will be like as I said, blockchain will be like little bit of slow when it as compared to normal database. Yeah, it is been deployed, and I have a section called view on Etherscan, and let's click view on Etherscan. See, this is a Sepolia testnet transaction only. So we are using Sepolia testnet, so it's showing testnet transaction and transaction hash. Everything will be hash indexing. Yeah, indexing is not yet been done. So our block is mined. Yeah, now it's mined, right? Our block is been mining till now. So it's mined now, and we have a success status and block ID 83. Then we'll be having who actually this is my wallet address. This must be my wallet address. Let's see. 3B, yeah, 3B86. So 3B86. So from I have mined this block, and 2, this will be our contract address. We can see our contract address here. When I open this, yeah, this will be my contract address 0x11 something. Yeah, that was my contract address. And we have no ethers in our contract. And transaction fee. See, this is for the gas fee. Transaction fee. Gas price into gas used for transaction. So this is how much I have been given as a transaction fee to create this contract. Okay, so let's click more. What are the details this block contains? And gas limit, 98% gas are used. And then I have some input data, all are hash. And let's see about our block. So this is the transaction history, and I need to see the block that has been created. So I will be clicking this block. I need to verify. Yeah, this is the block 1 minute ago. It has the date, block, suppose on slot. It may contain a fee receipt and every detail it contains. And let's click show more. Parent hash. We are having a parent hash, right? See, our block ID is 421, like 421, right? So let's see the parent hash 420. So this is how blocks are being linked. When I click next, I can get our actual block 421, right? So this is how blockchain works. I have created a transaction. That transaction has been created as a block, and that block has been linked to its parent hash. That was the previous block. So this is how blockchain works. I guess now you got to understand what's happening at that block creation and everything. Is everyone clear about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can we create our first MetaMask account?
Sure.
Yeah. Go to your browser and then
Sure.
type MetaMask download. And you'll be heading to the first website, download MetaMask, click over there. So you'll be having, you can find what is your browser. Just now I came to Chrome, as I have already having my MetaMask at Brave, so just Chrome. I'll be downloading the extension. So just come to the Brave like MetaMask website, and there you need to download the extension for Chrome. Like if you are using Brave, you can download for Brave. If you are using Edge, you can download for Edge. Whatever the browser you use, just add to that. I'm just adding to Chrome. Yeah, add extension. I think this may take a little bit time. Adding to Chrome. Yeah, just added to Chrome. It will automatically open a tab for MetaMask. Uh, let's start it. Let me know if you guys got into this page. Then only we can start. Like we need to follow some specific steps to start with. I can guide you through this. Just tell me once you guys came to this page. Yeah, okay. Many of them came. So we are going to create new wallet. We'll be having two options: import an existing wallet or create new wallet. So we don't have wallet yet, so we are going to create a new wallet. Okay, create new wallet. Click, and it'll be asking for improve MetaMask. If you want to give, I don't give usually. So if you want to give, you can give. Create a password first. This will be set only for this PC. You don't for every PC you are logging in your MetaMask account, you need to create separate password over that for local. Let me create new password. So create all the passwords in a, like, don't forget your password. Once you forget your password, you cannot access your wallet. Then whatever in your wallet will be gone. That's it. So try to mostly don't forget your wallet. So create new wallet. I'm clicking and secure my wallet recommended. Yeah, secure my wallet. I'll be shown secret recovery phrase. Okay. So when I click this, I will be getting 12 recovery phrase, which I need to copy and paste in a securest area because whoever has key can access my data. That's it. This is the secret key, private key actually. I was adding some normal account, right? So I was just showing this to you, but don't misuse. Okay. I'll just paste it on Notepad. Notepad. Okay. So yeah, I have seen it. So I go to the next, and it will ask for those details. Third one. So what's on the third one? Okay. Then for fourth one. Then for eighth. So if you have this 12 key, you can log in into my account. That's it. So keep in the safest places you can. So if you lost this or if you given this to someone, your account can be accessed by them. If I'm logging my MetaMask in another device, it won't ask your normal password. It just asks this key. If you gave this key, you'll be automatically logged in and you can create new password over there. That's it. And I click confirm. Yeah, done. Next. Done. Oh, not now. Oh yes. My MetaMask account was created. I have 0 USD. I was connected to mainnet, but we will be not working on mainnet as it costs. We'll be asking for free money. So did you guys come till there? Created your accounts? Cool. Fine. So we need money, right? We need to have some money to test our. Okay. Go to the left option network and click. When you scroll down, you'll be having show test networks. When you enable it, you'll be getting these three. So we are going to use Sepolia tester. So for this only, we'll be getting free coins. So I'm using it. We can click Sepolia. Don't forget, we are going to the networks and we are enabling this show test networks and we are clicking Sepolia. So it will be connected to Sepolia network and will be stating a Sepolia ETH. That too we don't have any coin. To get this, let's go to another website. Come to a new tab. Search for faucet, I guess. Yeah. Search for POW faucet. Let me give this link. Link address. Yeah, I pasted the link. Yeah. Once you get this, you'll be seeing this first one. Sepolia as faucet.pk something. So when you get into this, you'll be asked for Sepolia POW faucet, something blah blah blah. Just click I'm not robot. So actually I'm not a robot. And connect your MetaMask. So you need to copy your MetaMask address. Under that account one, you will be having this address. Copy to clipboard. When you click this, your account address will be copied and you need to paste it there. Paste it there and just click start mining. Yeah, mining is been started and yeah, hashing rate and everything. It uses some algorithms, so on. Okay, to boost, I need something. So, yeah, this will take lot of time to mine as we are using the testnet, and it actually says Faucet is currently experiencing unusual high mining activity. Oh, is it again? So yeah, it's a free site to get test coins, but it may be little bit on. It was very slower, so you can use this to mine Sepolia coins. Okay, I think you can't use it now for our stuff because it may took a long time. So I'm telling you, this is how you mine test coins, which I had actually had right when I done my transaction. I had in my wallet. So see, yeah, I had how much? 0.272 Sepolia. So 0.2 is a lot of money when it comes to Ethereum. Right? So 2.7. So this will be enough for my projects and everything. So I mined. Actually, it took me a whole night to mine this. Like I mined about 2.1.0.5. So that takes a long time to mine. So let's go on for the further steps. So this is how you have created your own wallet. You have your own wallet now. You are into Web3 today. So let's code that bank one. Okay. So can we start? I can see it comes up.
So for ETH address, what do you want to give in PowFit,
Yeah,
PowFit?
our ETH address. In MetaMask you have address, right? Under account one you have one address like 0xD769.
Okay.
Yeah, this is your wallet address now. Will be this is your address like Aadhaar card number. This is your Aadhaar card number in Web3 world. You can create
Okay.
a address, a number of accounts. Each account will have different wallet address, so you don't need to worry. So that's how you will be mining. So you can mine it later for your practicing. Just let's code that piggy bank one. Bank. Okay, let me create a new file in contract. New file. Let me test bank itself. Dot sol. Okay. So okay, I've created that. So can we start?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Like the same will be that is PDX license identifier and platform. Oh, cool. Automatically does this. Okay, so don't try type whole stuff. Just try pragma. Click enter. It gets it. And you need to give the specified version. So for now we are using it for iteration. Go to solve 0.8.30. Okay, you can just give 0.8. 0.8.0. Yeah. So we are going to code. Let me code fast. Like I think we have only 13 minutes. So let me code and just copy paste chatbot. And if you need, I can share it too. Contract, bank, bank. Okay, address. So let me explain this concept when I'm done with this. It's like mapping, like normal mapping we'll be using it. Balances, okay. Like we are mapping address with the integer. So what is their integer? What is their address? Address is every user's valid account. So we are going to identify persons with their valid address. So address. Every address will be linked to a integer. What is their integer? We are going to store their balance at it. So when we fetch address detail, it will give its balance. So that's why we are mapping address with event. Okay. So we are making it public and we are naming it as balances. And let's create a function for deposit. Function deposit. Oh, we need to make it external like this. And payable too. So we're going to use that payable. So actually we are going to transact money, right? So we need to make the function payable. We have certain keywords like that. We need to make this function payable to have transaction inside this function. So we have made it payable. And what we are going to do, balances. Yeah, message dot sender. So who is that message dot sender? So one who does the transaction will be the message dot sender. So it automatically fetches that sender's wallet address. So this will return the wallet address when you click uh, member X. So it will get the wallet address of the who's doing the transaction. We'll understand when we done this. And I'll go. We need to get deposited. We are depositing money. We need to get how much we are going to deposit. Hmm, okay. Actually, we don't. Okay, let's go with this. Here we'll be giving message dot value. So instead of getting a value, and we'll be message dot value, message dot sender will get the address of the who is doing the transaction, and message dot value will fetch how much amount they are transferring automatically. We don't need to specify it anywhere. We can use message dot value itself. So this will be enough, I guess, for deposit. And let's write the function for withdraw. And to withdraw, we need money, right? How much money we need to withdraw? You went 256, and it means dash, and this also external. So yeah, before going into it, we need to study about something. Require. So require is a sense like if we will be studying if conditions in our normal coding, right? So that the same require will be performing. Require will be checking whether this condition is satisfied or not. If it is not satisfied, it will break the contract. Like not break the contract. Like it will reject the transaction. It will not mind. So this is like a if statement we use in normal. So to check that balance, what we are going to check to withdraw, the amount should be greater than uh, the person's balance rate. So we'll be checking message dot sender greater than what we are getting dash. Okay. So why we are getting y only. Then we'll balances of message dot sender minus input. We'll be minusing that amount. So payable. Okay. Let's write instead of function check balance too. Can make it as q and it's going to return you in 256. I think it greater than equal to right. Yes, yes. Okay, now. So let me paste this in chat box too, so that what I click harder. Yeah, this too is basic contract. So what we have written is we are just mapping. It's like array, right? Instead of accessing with index, we will be accessing with address. It will every address will be linked to a int, like integer value. So we are naming it as balance. So we are writing a function deposit. Why we are writing external? External in the sense it is like public private. We have a function called a keyword called external. External function cannot be used inside the function itself. We need to use deposit function inside our contract. We cannot use it. So that's why it's named as external. External will be only available on can be accessed by others, not inside the function. So external and payable. We have made it payables as we are involving money in it, so it should be payable. And withdraw function we are getting how much amount and we are checking require balance of message dot sender. That message dot sender will give the address of the person who is actually making the transaction. So that amount should be greater than the balance should be greater than the amount, then only we can transact, else it will be revert the transaction itself. Then we'll be minusing that amount in the balance and then we'll be sending that amount to that person back. Payable, we are sending the money to the message center using the transfer function and we are sending the amount, how much amount. Okay. And get balance is also external and we are going to just use view and we are going to return u into mp6, just returning the like it's like array rate balances and we are accessing using that value of the address. So this is how it works. We have made a just simple withdraw deposit bank. Oh, I think we only have 5 minutes. Okay. Let me compile this and work. I have given the code right. Let me ask to paste it in the group too, so that you can do it on later on. So let me complete it. Okay, I'm going to yeah. I need to go to default. Okay, I have 100 ethers, 100 ethers, 100 ethers. I'm deploying this contract. Okay, I think I deployed it. Yeah, I deployed it. Okay. Where is my contract? Yeah, this is my contract. There is a deposit function, transact payable. So I need to give amount. Where I can give the amount? See clearly, I need to give amount here. So here you can see way in ether. These are like rupees 1,000 and crores. You'll be having money, right? So that like way is the basic form of ether. So you'll be transacting using in the way format for now. I was using two way for now, and I'm depositing it. Deposit. Yeah, it has green tick, so it is deposit. I am going to check my balance. So to check my balance, I need to get I can just get balance two, and I can check someone's balance too. Like I'm getting this account, okay. He has 100 Ether in his account, but he didn't put deposited in our bank, right? So let's check. We need to give zero. Yeah, zero. Let's go to him. Yeah. Now he is going to deposit a 10 way. Okay. Let's think that. Oh, wait, 10, 100 ways he is going to deposit, and he deposits. Okay. Now, if I check for the same address, 100, and if I check for that person's address, this address, I'll be getting just 2. Yeah, okay. Okay, I have put in only 2 for this account. See, get balance 2. I'm going to try to get $3 back. I'm going to withdraw 3 way. Okay, it should revert. Yeah, see, revert. The transaction has been reverted at the initial stage. Okay, so what function it gives? Withdraw error. So we have given our function requires. So this has been validated and thrown error. The transaction has not been carried on, so no amount or no nothing will be taken out from here. Okay, so that's it. We have deposit function, withdraw function, balance, get balance. I will give this code to Prithvi and he will share you on the group itself. And if you want to connect me, you can connect me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. 2 minutes, right? You can ask your queries to me through LinkedIn. It's loading. Yeah. Okay, this is me. You can find my name as Alan Jason Singarayan, and if you want ID, Alan 294. What?
Oh, you are from SRM?
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Which year?
third year.
Oh, you are currently pursuing or finished?
Yeah, third year finish.
Okay, bro. You know Valliyam Engineering College?
Valliyamai. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, bro. I'm in the
You're
college
from Tamil
only.
Nadu then.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I'm from Tamil
Cool.
Nadu. Okay, bro.
I am from Thuthukudi.
You are from Tuticorin. Okay. Okay, bro. You will speak in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I pasted my. Okay, I think I have posted the LinkedIn, and I will give my ID to Prithvi to he will also share. Yeah, you can find my ID as Alan 294 A actually AALAN 294, and you can search by my name too. You can find me easily. I am the only person who has this name in this world, so you can easily find me. Okay, that's it for the session. How was your session today? I think it
Yeah,
was
bro. Good, bro.
pretty cool. You can connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any doubts or you need any roadmap. I think if we got another chance for the session, we can have a long session about this. Okay, host is waiting. Bye, guys. Bye. Wish KR. Can you text me on LinkedIn? Like, I think the next post is waiting. I'll text you the question. You're okay. Bye, guys. You can text me on LinkedIn if any doubt. I think Wish,
Sure.
text me on LinkedIn. I think the next person is waiting.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, hi everyone. This is Chetan Hirapara. I am a lead data scientist. Someone please confirm first. Am I probably audible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you were audible.
Okay, thank you for confirmation. So in these sessions, I will walk you through the MCP server, what is MCP, and how you can get most out of the MCP server. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me at the end of the session. Okay, there are a lot many things we are going to discuss in this session, and let me share my screen first. Let me know once it is visible. Can someone please confirm? Is it visible?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me share it again.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you for confirmation. And now you should able to see my slides. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome everyone and good evening, good morning from wherever you are. In these sessions, I will talk about the future is contextual MCP servers driving the agentic AI forward. We will deep dive into more on what is MCP and how it is different than the other systems. Before moving ahead, myself, Chetan Hirapara, I am working as a lead data scientist at Teradata. I am AWS community builder in AI/ML category. I was also LinkedIn top voice in AI/ML category since a long time. And since last couple of years, I'm working in AI/ML and GenAI platforms with different use cases and mostly of all the cutting edge technologies. I had delivered almost 50 plus different projects on this AI, Gen AI categories. On top of that, I'm a technical speaker in AWS, GCP, Gen AI community events across the India. I have my YouTube channel as well. I usually post something interesting on this, what all the next and latest technology. It could be around the AI and data engineering as well. So you can also check my YouTube channel, Upskill with Chetan, and last but not the least is Medium articles. I written a lot many Medium articles, so you can check out all this. And if you want, you can also take the screenshots of this and connect with me on the LinkedIn. So that's all about myself. Let's move to the next part. So today the agenda is we'll discuss more about what was before the MCP server and what is MCP in a nutshell. Then I will also show you some MCP lifecycle, how MCP works behind the scene, and we will conclude the sessions with uh, demo, live demo. I will showcase you. I will also walk you through the code, like how the MCP is looks like and how we can build something by ourselves using MCP technology. Okay, next. So first section is the MCP. Before moving ahead, like many people are talking nowadays on MCP since like last 2 months, people's mostly talking about the MCP and then 1 year, 1 month back, A2A agents from Google came into the market and people suddenly started talking about the A2A, then MCP, then some people started doing comparisons between A2A and MCP. So what is this MCP in a nutshell and why people are more interested into this domain? So that is very interesting things to know before moving ahead. Okay. So before the introduction of MCP, all the application relied on various methods such as manual API wiring, plugin-based interface, and agent frameworks to interact with the external tools, as shown in this figure with left side. So if you check the left side figure, so without MCP, what was happened? Suppose you want to create an AI application and that application needs to connect with web services. It could be the flight search, cab search, it could be the stock market search, news search, right? So you have to write your own code. You have to make sure that your API keys, you have to make sure that all the request payloads and all these things are properly set by yourself. So it was very time consuming. Let's say you want to extract the news of financials from moneycontrol.com or financial times or something, right? In that case, you have to acquire that APIs, then you have to handle those APIs, handle those payloads, handle those request JSON and all by yourself. Now, on top of that, suppose you are developing applications that is algorithmic trading. So at every sometime interval, it should call this web service. It should get the latest news from the internet. Then based on that, you want to trigger something like buy or sell some stocks from your database. And then again, you will write some code with your database. So it will be hard coded. Most of the things are hard coded, where you have to write lot many codes. uh, then if you want to also access some local files, let's say there are some local files stored in your computer and you want to access it, then again you have to write your code by yourself. So before the MCP or without the MCP, if we talk, there are lot many things, lot many tasks. As a data scientist, you have to write by yourself. You have to manage those things. You have to manage the keys. You have to manage the protocols. So it was very tedious task. So all these approaches required integrating each external services with a specific APIs, leading to increase the complexity and limited scalability. MCP addresses these challenges by providing a standardized protocol that enables seamless and flexible interactions with multiple tools. Now, if you check about this right side panel, so with MCP, what changed? So now consider that there is a MCP server that is written in the mid here. So there is one MCP server that can able to handle all your headache, all your pain points at one level. So you just have to understand what is MCP server, and you have to just configure the MCP server with your code. That's all. You don't need to worry the rest of the part. So MCP server, so all those services, like let's say there is a Yahoo Finance or Yahoo News or Money Control News, they will write their MCP servers. Then there is a database connections like PostgreSQL. So you will write one MCP server with your database. You will write one MCP server with your local files. So now all these servers you can expose to one single locations, and that single locations will get interactions with your AI application. So if you compare the left side and right side, you can see that in the right side it is more streamlined architectures. Okay, so MCP is like more to streamlined your AI applications development, and that's why people are more interested in this MCP architectures. Now, how this evolutions happened gradually, year one year, right? So, when ChatGPT was arrived in November 2022, uh, people's were get excited, right? People tried to write poems, people tried to write some blogs and all these things. So at that time, there was only two things. One was LLM, one was prompt, and next people started the reg applications. So at that time, vector database comes into the picture. So if you talk about the type one, so it was initial days when the Chat GPT era had started and people was ingesting some PDF into the vector stores and they are asking some question answers and all these things. So this type one is the initial era of Chat GPT or LLM. Uh, so prompt, you might be knowing all the technical terms. Terminology prompt is something instructions that you are passing to LLM model, and the data source is a vector database. Suppose you have some kind of policy documents, and uh, you want to make sure that people can ask some questions on your policy documents, right? Then you can just embed those policy documents into uh, embeddings and store into the vector database, and that's all. So people can ask questions. So suppose just one person is coming and he said that what is the written policy of Amazon.com, right? So what it will happen that so first questions will come and questions will generate them. and that embeddings will do similarity search and pass the context with prompt to LLM, and it will give you the output. So this was very initial era. I am talking about the reg now. The next era was that okay. So what was the
Oh, oh,
so tool was like some kind of add-ons, some kind of extra capabilities that LLM has. That is called tools. So let me give you example. Suppose in the type one there was no internet connectivity. So if you had some, let's say you plugged in like five PDFs, then your users only can ask questions around that five PDFs only. Now suppose one PDF is regarding Apple stock results, Apple's financial results of 2024. Now, if someone will come and say that, hey, can you tell me like what was the Apple shares price today and how much percentage it has changed since 2024? So that knowledge cannot came from type one. That can came from type two, just because the type 2 has some internet capabilities that is called tools. Okay, it is not limited to internet, it could be the anything, it could be the calculators, it could be the internet search, it could be some weather API related, okay, it could be flight related search. So all these things are the tools. So tools get extra powers to your LLM so that LLM can automatically identify which tool I have to call and get those answers from the tools and give back to the user question. So coming to the original question, so suppose your customer is saying to your chatbot that how much percentage Apple stock price changed over the last 1 year, right? So for that, you should have information of today's share price of Apple, and you should have information about last 1 year share price information. So in that case, these tools can be able to extract all this information. They can do comparisons, they can do calculations, and it will give you that Apple share price uh, up or down by 5% or X% in the last 1 year. So now coming to the type 3. So what was the problem with tool as well? Like as we discussed in the previous slide. So when we are saying that tools, so these are the tools. Consider that web services, database, these are the tools. But again, you have to write lot many code by yourself. So that was the limitations of tool. And today in 2025, the time is done for the MCP. So MCP, now let's jump into here. So let's say there is one Yahoo Stock Services, and they had created their MCP server. There is one weather services, they had created their MCP server, and there is a, let's say, Google Flight service, and they have their own MCP server. Now all these servers can combine together, or you can independently call all these servers from your host application. So now consider that you are the host where your LLM has access to your host application. So when user will ask about any questions like, let's say a user is asking a questions that I'm traveling to Berlin city in June 25th. Can you tell me at which time I should reach at Berlin according to the weather condition? Now I'm asking two questions combinedly. I'm also want to check the what was the weather when I reached to Berlin, and I was also checking that what are the flight options, right? So let's say one is the flight service and one is the weather service. So both this service will call together. So first service will get the weather, like let's say from Ahmedabad to Berlin there are five flights, but my LLM will give me all the options that if you reach at 7 a.m. in the morning at Berlin, there will be good weather. If you reach at 1 p.m. at the Berlin, there will be heavy rain in the Berlin city. So this is the beauty that all these things can be done automatically without writing much code. You have to just consume the different MCP servers, and MCP servers will automatically do routing. MCP servers will automatically check which tools I should call and give you the perfect answer. So this is like how deep I just explained like deeply like how the MCP services looks like and how it is helping to you. Now, when this MCP comes, people were asking like, what is this MCP? Why it is needed now? Even though there was lot many things like agents were there, models were there, multimodality was there, RAG was there, right? And why someone suddenly started everyone else talking about this MCP? So MCP has rapidly gained traction in the AI community due to its ability to standardize how AI models interact with external tools, fetch data, and execute operations. Think of MCP is like a type USB-C port for your AI application. So if you think of USB-C, right, you can plug in any kind of different devices. It could be your power point, it could be your laptop cooling fan, it could be pen drive, and all these things will be directly connect with your Type C port in your computer or laptop. So think of this MCP as a USB-C port for your AI applications. MCP, which standardized the project by Anthropic, is now talk of the town. Even though it was introduced a few months ago, developers have gradually begun to understand the importance. Its protocol is trying to standardize how LLM access external data and tools. Now, let's deep dive and let's understand in a nutshell how the MCP is looks like. So, first thing is the model. So everyone knows about the model, like it could be GPT-4 model, it could be Anthropic Cloud 3.5 model, it could be Amazon Nova. So there are different types of models. So this is basically LLM models. So some models has capability of textual, some models has capability of image, video, audio processing. Right? If we talk about the Google Gemini, they have all this capability about like video processing, audio processing. It is called multimodality. So model is nothing new. So model are like Amazon Nova, Cloud GPT-4, Gemini. All these things are the model. We already know about all these LLM models. Now the important part is comes to the play is a context. Even the session title is a contextual, and that's why we are more focusing on what is this context. So context is instructions or informations for LLM. Okay. So if suppose you are in your mind you want to do some kind of calculations or you want to write to one email to your boss, but that is something in your mind. But still, until and unless you are not exposing to the LLM, LLM can't understand what is in your mind and what you want to write it down, right? So it is like more of the kind of prompts, but here in the add-on that of the prompts, here you are also passing some extra information that is called contextual, where you are passing it could be some resources, it could be some functions, it could be some kind of samples. So consider that context is a more information that helps LLM to complete your job. So what is the context? So check if an error I'm getting in this code is mentioned in any issue being discussed on the Slack. So suppose one person who is asking to your Slack channel this kind of question. He's basically want to check that I'm getting some error. Is this error same error is already occurred on some other one's machine or not? Now, two things here. MCP servers to get the rep access. So just because of that, I mentioned about the code. So MCP server has to get the rep access of particular code, and MCP servers to get Slack access. Just because we are mentioning two things, one is code and one is Slack. Now automatically our MCP server has this tools discovery mechanism. I will talk more about in the MCP lifecycle how the tool discovery will work. So from this question, MCP, let's say MCP has 100 tools, but in this case, MCP will identify that I have to use two tools. One is the Git repo and one is the Slack chat access. So MCP will say that I need a Git repo access, and automatically, if you have already settled up the token, then here MCP will have that Git repo access. The second one is the Slack channel access. So MCP already have such kind of Slack channel access. If you have already registered, let's say in your Slack account, there are 50 channels. One channel is specifically for discussing coding issues, right? So if you had already settled up, if you had already configured this Slack channel access, your MCP will have access to that particular Slack channel. Now, what are the context types? So in MCP protocol, there are four type of context. One is the tools. So tools are basically some kind of functions that can do some kind of operations for you. It could be log search tools. It could be stock price tools. Okay, resources are some kind of files or some kind of assets that you want to pass to LLM. Okay, so suppose no, now, if you have experience about the GitHub Copilot, right? So if you open one file and you say that, hey, GitHub Copilot, can you fix my auto scrolling issue in this HTML page? So at the end, you are attaching one file to that, one HTML file to that GitHub Copilot, and HTML file will go along with the MCP. So that is called resource. That is just because of some kind of assets. Sampling is a technique that is rarely used because just because the samplings are doing uh, hybrid between multiple models. Like sampling, what will you do? Let's say Cloud is doing good in the coding, and OpenAI GPT-4 or Mini is good at the reasoning, so it will combine two things together. And the prompt, we already know, prompt are the instructions. So this is the very detailed information about what is context, and I hope you guys are able to understand the now context. What is context? So context is something that you have to pass to, your model. Okay, it could be the functions, it could be the resource, it could be the tools. Now protocol. So protocol is a set of rules. It is one kind of standard. If I talk about like in the HTML and internet came, right? So there was one protocol that is HTTPS protocols where everyone was agreed that if I'm completing my API request, then it should be the 200. If I am not able to find the resource, then it should be the 404. So these are the standard set of HTTP protocols that was set by entire World Wide Web protocols. Now everyone has to follow the same protocols. So similar manner, in the modern context protocols, these are the set of rules that everyone has to follow when they are using it. Okay. So this is called the model.
Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting.
Yeah.
There is a background noise.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. I guess now it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we talked about the MCP client and we talked about the MCP servers. Okay, so MCP servers are like, let's say GitHub has created their MCP servers, Elastic Cache, Power BI has created their MCP servers, PostgreSQL has created. So everyone now, all the technical companies, technological companies, they want to expose some information to their clients. They can create MCP server. Let me give you one simple example. Suppose that Airbnb wants to expose their services to the entire world. Like Airbnb is just doing a room rent, right? A quick room rent services. So what will happen that Airbnb will expose their servers where anyone can come and they can ask for room and they can get the details about the rooms. Basically list out all the available rooms on the entire world, right? So MCP Airbnb has created their MCP servers, and that MCP servers is publicly available to everyone. Now, suppose you are a student and you are developing one kind of application that requires such kind of room searching, right? So you just integrate these MCP servers from Airbnb, and you can leverage that Airbnb room search capability with your application. So MCP servers, it's by who create the MCP servers. So anyone, any companies or any persons or any individuals or any projects who want to expose their data to their client. Okay. And another example, let's take example of Make My Trip, right? So Make My Trip wants to expose their services to some other partners, right? So someone, let's say you are a startup company and you want to create one startup uh, product for, let's take a itinerary planner, right? So suppose in your mind you want to build one startup that is itinerary planner. Okay, now itinerary planners will require different informations about the flight, about hotels and all, right? So you will leverage the MCP servers that was given by Make My Trip, right? So if someone will comes to your application and that person will say that I want to travel to Europe, give me itinerary, right? So basically it will behind the scene, it will ask for the dates, and once MCP server will have a date, MCP server will plan your entire itinerary. uh, just because MCP server already have the data access from the Make My Trip MCP server. Now, so we talked about the MCP server. So MCP simplifies the lives of developers by providing the standardized protocol to integrate AI agents with external tools, right? And that's the beauty here. Now, the next part is the MCP client. Who could be the MCP client? So, MCP client are those applications who are consuming it. So, one example is the cloud desktop. So, still, this MCP is not ready fully. Still, some development works are going on from the Anthropic. Anthropic has one cloud desktop application. So, now let's say you want to integrate the Airbnb MCP server with your cloud desktop. There is no hardly 10 lines of JSON code. You just copy paste, add into your cloud desktop, and you're here to go. Suppose there is a Slack or Teams MCP server, okay, and you want to integrate those with your cloud desktop. You just copy that JSON with your MCP. So basically, now you are the MCP client, where your actually the applications where your applications is running, that is MCP client. And these are the LLM models here, Gemini, then OpenAI, and Cloud. And this person is the user who is going to ask some questions. So basically, this is the client, this is the server. Client responsibility is discover the perfect tool, and server's responsibility is fulfill the client request. Now, again in the more good architecture diagram from the previous one. So first let's check one by one what is the MCP host and what is the MCP client. So it's shown in this image, a typical workflow, the user sends a prompt to the MCP client which analyze the intent, select the appropriate tools via the MCP server, and use external APIs to retrieve and process the required information before notifying the users to the results. MCP host. So MCP host are the applications where the client is working. So MCP host is an AI application that provides the environment for executing AI-based tasks while running the MCP client. It integrates interactive tools and data to enable smooth communication with external services. So MCP host could be the chat application, it could be the IDE, it could be the AI agents. Now within that there is MCP clients. Okay, so MCP clients, it could be the PowerShell, it could be the Cloud A, or you can also integrate some notifications here. You can also integrate the sampling. All these things can be possible as a MCP host. Now MCP client, as we discussed, it could be the different applications. Okay, the next part is the MCP servers. So in this part, so as I described in the previous slide as well, right? So Slack can have their own Grafana, then Notion, Google, Gmail, SQLite, all these kind of companies can have their own MCP servers. MCP servers enables the MCP host and client to externally access systems and execute operations, offering three core capabilities: tools, resources, and prompts. If you remember, in the context slide, I gave up this information about the functions or tools, resources, and the prompts. So basically, MCP client and MCP server wants to access these tools, host, and prompts. So if you check here, so this is, let's say the user has asked one question: can you please fetch the latest stock price of AAPL and notify via the email? So this was the original question from user. Now my intent analysis, so it comes to the MCP host, and the MCP client will identify that I have to first check which tool can give me this email access, then which tool give me the stock price access of AAPL, and have to give that back. So basically here I want to use two tools. One is the stock price fetching information, and one is the email, right? So initial request will come to the MCP server. Then client discovery will be start. Tool discovery will be start. Once the tool discovery is done, then initial response will come back from servers to the client. And the third one is the notification. So it is again one to one, that just because he want to send via the email, right? So the server. So let's say there is a Gmail server configured. So Gmail will send one email to end customer that stock price of APL is XYZ. Now you might be interested how this is able to fulfill this, how the servers is able to fulfill the client requirement. Just because servers have access web services, database, local file system, and all the internet services. So all these things, it is not something that is no code or low code. All these things has a code. Everywhere there are a lot number of different codes are already written. But just because of that, these companies are responsible for writing their own servers. Which end user, you no need to worry about the payloads. You no need to worry about the what is the request and what is the response and all. Just because it is standardized now. Next one is MCP transport types. We talked about the internet connections, we talked about the local file systems, right? So in this case, there are two types of communications between MCP client and MCP server. One is the STDIO, that is a standard input and IO. So if you are running your MCP server locally and if you are running MCP client locally, in this case, it is STDIO type of communication. Now SSE, server sent event. So SSE is full form is server sent event. Suppose you are doing some kind of applications that is uh, require internet access, right? Suppose in the case of the previous one where you want to check the stock price of AAPL, so in that case it is a server sent events, and so it will check to the internet, it will get the information, and again that information will come back from servers to client. In this case it will run as a SSC. So these are the two type of transportations protocol. HTTP, HTTP or right HTTP right now still HTTPS is not supported. So all the HTTP kind of transactions will done with the SSE. Just because it is a remote connections, JSON RPC is one kind of standard protocol that could be sent between client and server. So if you remember, we talked about the protocol. So protocol is a set of rules. So here they are implementing RPC 2.0. So all the client and server communication should be in the format of JSON with RPC 2.0 standards. And if it is SSE, then it is a stateful connection. So there are two type of connections in the case of internet or API calling: stateful and stateless. STDIO local connection. STDIO supports in the client mandatory requirements, and all the logging should be preferably to file system or STDERR. So if you're writing your MCP server, then if you write anything into the STDERR format, then if it is in the Python, right? So in the case you in the Python, in the print statement you can write your error, and just standard file type is standard error. So you will get all the standard error from your print statement in the case of Python. Next one, what is MCP's capability? So these are again we are reiterating the resources. So data associated to the context. So data, that means it could be the file, it could be the TXT, it could be the Python file, it could be the HTML, or any kind of assets that you are passing to MCP server along with your question, that is called resource. Tools. So tools is already there with the servers. Just you are passing, you are just discovering the tools, that which tools needs to complete this request. In the previous our question where a client was expecting that he wants to do stock price search and send via the email. So in that case, there are two tools. One is stock price and one is the email search. Prompt. Prompt are the commands or instructions. Okay, so any kind of instructions that you want to share between the client and server, or that you want to share and pass to your MCP LLM. That these are my prompts and this is my command that I'm expecting from you to finish. So this is called MCP. All these are the MCP capabilities where you have to pass resource, tools, and prompts, and MCP server's responsibilities fulfill your requirement. Now again, in the more details, there are more to sampling. So allow servers to request LLM completions through the different clients, and routes are the boundaries where servers can operate. So if you compare the previous one and the next one, there are two new things is coming. One is the root. So if you have access to your root directories, computer file system, that is your roots, and sampling where you want to do LLM completions from different LLMs, from Cloud as well as from OpenAI, from Jimmy. In that case, it will do a sampling. Most of the people are still not using the sampling just because not many resources is not available, and people don't know much just because it is very complex task. Now the MCP lifecycle, how the MCP lifecycle just happened. Okay, so what happened that when user will ask any questions that if we reiterate the same questions like give me the Apple stock price and send me that Apple stock price via email. So this was my customer, so that this is my user's prompt. It will first comes to the MCP host. MCP host will have a MCP client. Now tools metadata. So what will happen? That MCP client will call to the MCP servers, all the MCP servers. Let's say I have three MCP servers available, right? So one is, let's say, internet search, one is the Gmail, one is something else or API, right? So what will that? I will have all the MCP tools metadata. Like according to my client request, I have two tools that I can use. Then call that specific tools. So if you check, okay, so before call that specific tools, there is a prompt plus tools. It will pass to the LLM, and LLM will give tools to use. So basically, what will happen that when user asks one questions, after that we identified there are two tools that I have to use. Then the two tools will pass to the LLMs along with the instructions. So LLM will just LLM is just kind of placeholders. It will properly create. It will properly make what kind of tools it should use. So tools, I comes to know that in the stock price, right? I have to use the stock price, but LLM will call that tool specific tools along with the what which stock price you want, right? So in this case APL. Then the next tool will be used like what you want to do as output. Then I want to send email as output, right? So that all these things will be done via LLM. All the calls will done from client to server, and the output will again come back to the LLM. Just because as a human we don't require some kind of JSON outputs, right? So what will do, the LLM will generate the final outputs and give to the user. So basically, two times LLM will called here. One is the third number where the prompt plus tools is get identified and give tools to the use, and the final where you want final output to be used and passed to the customer or client who has asked the question. Now, how to build MCP server? So very simple. Pip install MCP client. So basically, MCP is built on the fast API. Okay, so there is a fast MCP, but it is just a subclass of the fast API. Low level SDK protocol implementations, command line interface, easiest way to run MCP servers. You can directly run MCP server from command line interface as well. There is inspector. Uh, Inspector is one kind of applications. If you want to check what kind of tools you have available, right? In that case, it is just basically if you know the Postman, right? So Postman is help you to call any APIs or API testing. So Inspector is basically tester for MCP. So if you had configured five servers and all the five servers as five tools, so all these tools inspect you can do by the inspector. Then the UV is kind of package managers. If you are a JavaScript developer, you know about the NPM. If you are a Python developer, you know about the pip and conda. So similarly, UV is the new package manager in the Python. So via UV, it is recommended that you use the UV for MCP. Now implement the MCP server. It is very simple code. Uh, in the previous slides, I mentioned that all these things is nothing. It is not something that no one is writing the code. Everywhere there is a code. Okay, so let's say you want to implement your first MCP server. Then what you will do that import the fast MCP. Then you just give one name to that fast MCP. So here the MCP objects will be done. Then at the MCP dot resources. So basically, when someone will do greet and hello, then this particular functions will call and it will return that hello world. You can pass the arguments and keywords arguments as a part of this functions implementation. Then the next one is the foo tools. Okay, so if meta goes here, so if MCP, so first one is the MCP resource. Sorry, I forgot to mention. So at that MCP dot resource. So if you remember the previous slides, we talked about the four types of context. Resource is some kind of attachment, some kind of files. Tools is the real tools. It could be the calculator, it could be the weather API, right? So these are the two difference. So first one was the resource and the next one was the tools. And if you just run the mcp.run, transport is equal to stdio. Stdio just because you want to do communication within your computer. If you want to do communications outside of computer, HTTP call, in that case, you will do SSE, server sent event. Next one, test this server. So MCP run and your Python file.py. To debug that, you just append the dev. So you will get all the metadata that your MCP is running, your inspector is running, what is the version and all these things. And restart the cloud desktop. Okay, so Suppose you build this tool, you running this tool locally, but now you want chat interface quickly without writing extra code. Then in that case, what you would do, open the clouded desktop application. I mentioned somewhere that it is like hardly 5-10 lines of code. So just copy this JSON and go to your clouded desktop and edit that clouded desktop configurations file and paste this over there. So this could be the different according to the different requirement. If it is a GitHub MCP server, there will require a GitHub access token. If it is a Figma MCP server, that will require the Figma Figma tokens. If it is a Slack, in that case, Slack will require one Slack channel access token. So this particular configurations, basically this is just kind of metadata key value pair that MCP server requires to access that. So just copy this JSON and restart your clouded desktop applications and good to go. That you can access the MCP servers via clouded desktop. Now MCP versus A2A. A2A is a new protocol from Google. So since last 40 minutes we are talking about the MCP. So if we talk and if we many people have confusions that MCP and A2A both are different, so some have seen that A2A will replace the MCP, but it is not like that. A2A is uses the MCP. It is extensions of the MCP. So if we check first the diagram here, so we talked about the MCP host, we'll have MCP client, then there is MCP server. MCP server will have tools, resources, and prompts, right? All these things are showcasing here what we are discussing since last 40 minutes. If we talk about the A2A, so here it is more like a decentralized architecture kind of things where uh, all the components are operate interoperability, like enable structured communications and coordinates between AI agents operating in the different in the same environment. So here you can say that client, then there is agent card. So agent card will have information about all the available agents. Then there is a remote agent. So remote agents is like server. You can consider there is a server which have artifacts, and when some message will pass, okay, from client, so it will first identify which are the tasks, then it will identify which are the remote agents I should call. There is also status updates if there are some kind of new call is coming, or if you are continuously listening, or if some SLA is going to miss, then status will call, and all the messages. So all these things together, you can see that um, it will interoperable, enables agents to agents communications, and all the observations outcomes will pass from one to all. So most of the things are interconnected. If you see the client agent, then task, then remote agents, all these things are mostly interconnected, where in the case of MCP it was not there. So again, A2A is an enhancement of the MCP server. It is not a replacement. Okay. Now it's a demo time. Just a minute, let me share my screen now. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Someone please confirm. Is it visible or not? Hello? Anyone there? Hello, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So first, let me show you something very simpler one. I'm just opening the clouded desktop now. Okay, this is the clouded desktop application. Now I will first show you how you can access the MCP server via the clouded desktop application. Go to the setting, go to the developer. Here you can see that Airbnb, this one server is running, and the SQLite Explorer, this one server is running from my local computer. These are the two servers running in my local. Airbnb is running via SSE, and the SQLite Explorer is running via locally. Now, if you want to check how I configured it, go to the click on the edit config file and open one clouded desktop config file. So this is the clouded desktop config file. Now, if you check here, I have two servers. One is Airbnb server and one is the SQLite server. So in the Airbnb server, very simple npx. What is the command? And there are some kind of arguments. So basically, this is not developed by me. This is developed by Airbnb. I can access Airbnb data by just integrating this server. Then the next one is SQLite Explorer, where I used UV. UV is a package manager. And I'm giving a path that my MCP server, this is my Python file MCP server.py, and here it is. I will start this in next few minutes. So this is SQLite Explorer, and this is like UV, and this is how you should run my SQLite Explorer Python file. Now let me run it, so you guys will get more idea. So you can see here Airbnb and SQLite. In the Airbnb, if I click here, so there are two types of features. There are two types of tools that are available with Airbnb MCP server with Airbnb search and Airbnb listing details. Let me type here. See, I didn't mention anything. I didn't mention anywhere the Airbnb or anything, right? I just mentioned that I am traveling to Berlin from 5th to 10th June. Give me some rooms. Okay. Now, basically, automatically, the tool discovery happened behind the scene, and from MCP tool discovery, they identify that I should use the tool Airbnb search, and these are the information that is basically API calling information. That location is Berlin, Germany. Even I haven't mentioned the Germany. The check-in date, checkout date, and number of adults is one. Okay, and this is the response coming from the API. So this is basically the original response coming from Airbnb. You can see the Berlin, Germany, check-in, check-out, all the informations. And these are the different information. Like if I will just click this particular information, copy this particular URL, and if I will go to internet, and I can check that this specific room will be available in the Airbnb Germany. So this is the beauty. Without writing any single line of code, I can still check like what is the Airbnb. This particular room is okay. If I just collapse it, now you can see that the budget friendly rooms. So all these are the live informations coming from Airbnb. Okay. Now let me ask another question. Okay. Show me top 10 albums. The other server that locally had integrated, that server has some kind of informations about some tables. I will just showcase you. Right now, it is not getting from that. Okay, okay. Let me show you all the tables available in database. See, now it is saying that I have to access the SQLite Explorer. This is my tool that I built by myself, and if I will allow it, so it is creating on SQL. Select star from SQLite master web tables, and it will give me that all the tables what are the available. So basically, right now it is searching from locally. So these are the tables. Now it will give me all the tables available. So it is saying there are some errors, I guess. Still, it is trying again and again. It is trying different kind of queries. So I will show you one by one. So when I say that show me all the tables available in my database, so first it queried this select name from SQLite master. It has failed. Then it had tried another table, show tables. So show is not available in the SQLite, so it has failed. Then again it has tried another query dot tables. So dot is not available, it is a syntax error. Again it is saying that select table from information schema, table is public, so information schema is not available. So basically, in the nutshell, what I was trying to explain is that when I ask this question, automatically this clouded desktop comes to know that I have to use my server, and to get the table information, it has tried different all the options. At the end, it was not able to identify that, and it is saying that I cannot do more query on this. Okay, so basically, it has tried 5 times all the queries, but none of the queries is worked, and that's why it is saying that I cannot do. You can get or you can export some database name. So how this comes and from where this comes? So basically, all these informations will came from the MCP tool discovery information that we discussed. Now let's come to my MCP server first. I will showcase you how the MCP server is looks like. As I mentioned, just import the first MCP demo. Then this one is the query tool. So this is a tool. Okay, this is not a resource. Tools means that whatever it should require, it should perform some kind of operations for me. It doesn't require any kind of resource. Then Chinhook database, it is one kind of famous SQLite database. I just uh, pasted here somewhere. Yeah, here this dataset, and I'm just connecting with the data sets, and I'm saying that what are the SQL you someone will pass to you. You just execute that SQL and give me the output. So basically, MCP requires coding, and this is a one function that I written myself to query the data. So when someone will call these functions by passing the SQL, so this tool will get called every time. Then if someone will ask about the prompt, example prompts will get called and please review this code, then particular code will get reviewed. And this is like how mcp.run. Here I mentioned the stdio just because it is a locally running. So this is very simple code. In the just 30 lines of code, you can see that I able to write this MCP server. Now the MCP client, okay. So this was the server. So this is the responsibility of the person who want to expose the data, who want to expose their services. MCP client is the responsibility of that person who want to use it. Okay, here in this case, I used Anthropic Cloud model for my purpose. So I'm just doing studio server parameters from MCP. Then I am writing one chat class here. I'm saying that you are the master SQLite assistant. Your job is to use the tools at your disposal to write a perfect SQL query and execute it. So this is the system prompts, and there is a process query, then there is a chat load, then there is a run functions. Okay, let's move from the bottom. So in the chat, I have one function that is a run. So when anyone will ask any queries or ask any kind of things, so first it will pass to the run function, where it will have the client sessions. The client session is coming from the MCP. So when you start the application, there will be one client session will get started. Then I will call the chat loop. So it will again continuously asking the query. Now when user will ask any question like show me all the tables, so that query will pass to my process query function. Okay, so query will be as it is, and I'm just passing all the session information. So my query will pass here session dot list table. So if you check here the list table, in that case it will identify that how many number of tables, how many number of tools I have. Okay, and that all these tools will pass. So I'm just listing all the available tools with tool name, tool description, and input schema. Then what happened that to Anthropic client, this is LLM Cloud 3.5. I'm saying that these are the available tools to you. This is my system prompt. Maximum tokens you can use is 8,000, and this is the message. So message is basically uh, Anthropic client's message that it is a message interactions between LLM and my this Anthropic client API. And somewhere there will be also the query. So here I just define this cloud invoke options, and where I'm using that query. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, I guess I had already appended it into the message somewhere. Yeah, yeah. Okay, here it is. So when the in the chat loop I appended my user query into this messages, so it is already available with the messages at the list of messages which has systems and users and AI messages array. So here it is assistance, it is a for response. We were discussing about here. Okay. So when the response will, when the Entropy client will call, I will have that response. I'm getting the context. I'm checking that it is a tool used or not used. Then if it is a tool use or if it is a tool use, then I'm getting the results back. It is await just because it is asynchronous. Then I am saying that role is assistant and content is whatever the message content is coming. Then I'm appending just because it is like one kind of a message mechanism, the API mechanism. Then users question, so users what was the users question and what is the final output. Then again I'm appending the message, what is the results output from the LLM. Now let me just run it so you will get more idea and then we can again discuss more on the code side. So what I did, UV run mcp client.py. So I am running this application and this application will asking me the query. So it is coming from chat loop. It is asking me what is your query. Okay. Now I am asking that show me top 10 albums with their artist details. So here you can see that server.py is get called, list tools request, then processing call to request, all are the logs. And it is, I apologize for the error, it says the database schema is different than I assumed, okay? First, let's ask show me all the tables. Now that I know the available tables, I will query the top 10 albums with their artist details. The table supposed to be named albums and the artist. Here to go, I ask like give me top 10 albums. So these are the top 10 albums. Now I can ask like who was the artist in Facelift. The artist of Facelift album is Alice in the Chain. So this is I guess some artist name. So this is the way like you can ask any query. So basically I'm asking query to the SQL tables in the natural language. Okay. Let me ask it again. Show me all the tables. Okay, these are the tables available in my database. I can ask any questions out of these. Give me top 10 customers detail. And here my top 10 customers, you can see. Right, so basically I am playing with my database in the simple natural language understanding, and it is able to understand all these things. So this is how possible just because I created my MCP server and I configured that MCP server with my MCP client. Okay, this is how you can also create your own MCP server and you can play around with it. So you can see that stdio server parameter, I am passing my server information. Now there could be any kind of servers that you can play around with it. Okay, let me share one more thing here. So okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code, and I'm asking that how many servers you have. So I already created GitHub servers, then Figma server, then Airbnb servers, and all this server information. Okay, let me check. GitHub is running, I guess. Okay, now this is the Visual Studio Code Copilot. I am coming here and I am just clicking on the plus. Okay, I can ask any questions to my servers as well. How many liter water is there for user? If my GitHub server will be live, it will check like how many GitHub repo is there for this particular user. So it is saying that GitHub MCP server, it is going to call and it is asking me that are you sure you want to check for this user? It is saying that the user has 24 GitHub repository. Right? So if you check the GitHub user for this, you will get the right information. So basically what happened that from with this Visual Studio Code is running as a client now for my GitHub MCP repo or my GitHub MCP server. Now let me check another one. Add comments to Figma design with project. So I just added one Figma design MCP server with my this Visual Studio Code. So intelligently it will identify that I have to check the Figma design, and however there are no Figma design files or reference in this. So basically it is asking me that what files or reference you want. So this is my Figma account, okay, and this Figma account has this MCP server. This is my project name, and I'm just checking where is the file. Okay, this is I guess file, and I'm not sure. I'm not a Figma user, but I can just check that something that previously I tried. So okay, yeah, 1 month ago, like I was able to push some comments from my uh, VS Code Copilot, and that comments will get pushed to here. Let me try it now. Okay, so this is my yeah, okay, it was asking me. Let me pass this one. I guess this will work or not. I'm not sure. Okay. So basically, I want to make some comments. Okay, basically it is understood wrongly and it is added into the my uh, MCP client. But if I will pass some Figma context, so basically what missing here is the Figma context. It won't understand that what is the Figma context. Based on that, it will do some identification of tool discovery and apply over there. Right now, it has just understood it wrongly and it was trying to add some informations into my MCP client file. So I can just do undo. Yeah. Okay, so that's it all about these sessions, and thank you for uh, tagging me here, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can just scan this QR code to connect with me on the LinkedIn or Linktree, or you can also access all the informations about me, about my YouTube channel, about my Medium blog post, and all. And all the resources are mentioned in these slides about the STDIO and server and all. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.